How you doing, everybody? Big Apple Banter back on the mic. J-Man and Matty L. Holy shit, boys. It's been a little while. Busy with school last semester, senior year, trying to figure out our lives. And hell, we forgot we had a podcast to film. The NFL draft, it's right around the corner at this point. And the Big Apple Banter, we got to hop on the mock draft train. That's what we're going to be doing today. Matty L's got his new fancy mic he's going to test today. Hopefully sound like an A+ analyst. We got J-Man on. Probably spark some of Martin's emotions about the Giants' recent draft failures. The Giants, they got the third overall pick. A lot of power with that pick. Very high overall draft selection. Can go a lot of different ways. A lot of different rumors circulating around. But boys, before we get into it, how are we feeling heading into this draft?
I'm nervous. I feel like I always get very nervous, like the days leading up to the draft, and especially when we're on the clock. I've expressed it before, like I really don't want to take Shedeur Sanders in the position that we're in, and I think we brought him in for a meeting today, and that makes me nervous. We don't really control our own destiny here. I think our pick is going to be very much dependent on what Cleveland does in front of us, and once they decide, the Giants are going to have 10 minutes to make their decision. And I know what I want, but I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most years, at this point, we're what, almost a week out. Like, I feel like I would absolutely know 100% who I want, pretty confident of how it's going to happen. And this year just feels different. I feel like you said, we don't really control our own destiny. And I feel like we are just at the mercy of whoever picks in front of us. I mean, I do think this year is super exciting because we're almost guaranteed to get a really good player. We'll discuss it when it comes to that point. I'm very excited. Like, the draft is always, for as long as I can remember, has been my favorite part of the year. I just go crazy for it. So I'm excited. I think it'll be a good draft, hopefully. Better be. So I'm excited.
Yeah, hopefully we can turn off the national championship hangover. Matty L, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Very, very well done. We got a lot of good content out of you.
Great game.
A lot of good stuff. So congrats to the Gators. But back to the NFL grind, and it's tough to say that there's really any guaranteed picks, but from what has been circulating around, the first overall pick, the Tennessee Titans, Will Levis and his mayo in his coffee looking head ass is not the answer in Tennessee. So I'm sure you boys have the same answer for here. J-Man, we'll start with you. Who's going first overall to Nashville, Tennessee?
I think everyone knows it's going to be Cam Ward. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts. It's going to be Cam Ward. With the situation that Tennessee's in, I don't think Cam Ward's the best player in the draft. I don't even know if he's a top 5 player, to be honest. Was reading a lot of reports saying that if he was in last year's draft class, he would have been picked 8, 9, 10, behind McCarthy. I think Tennessee desperately needs a quarterback, and I think you have the number 1 overall pick. You got to take the quarterback. But I'm not sure how great he's going to be. I think he showed a lot of flash last year. Showed a lot of playmaking abilities. His ability to make plays outside the pocket. He throws the ball on a rope. I thought he was pretty accurate, and has some big playmaking ability. So I think he's going to be a good player. But I don't know. We'll see. Tennessee doesn't really have a great supporting squad around him. So I don't know.
Yeah. Cam Ward.
Yeah, I also, not a shock, have Cam Ward going number 1 to the Titans. But, I think that you hit the nail on the head. I think the playmaking ability that Cam Ward could bring to, a future, the Titans in the future in their NFL offense, it was special. I got the chance to watch him shit on the Florida Gators live and in person week 1 this past year. And I was like, whoa. I had heard about Cam Ward in the offseason, really hyped up coming over from Washington State. He's going to be a good ball player, but I didn't really know until that moment. And we saw what happened with the rest of the year. He was a Heisman finalist. So, big playability, insanely good outside the pocket. He can just make plays when plays need to be made. And that's something that I think Shedeur Sanders lacks a little bit. Some people might say Shedeur Sanders is more accurate, which, is true. But I think what Miami asked Cam Ward to do was, make plays happen, and he stepped up to the plate, 95% of the time. Yeah, I mean, I think his ceiling is really high. I feel like in the right place, like he could do numbers and start competing. A few years down the line. I still think he's a developmental guy, though. I mean, this is kind of a interesting draft, like you mentioned. Like, I don't know where he would have gone last year, but I mean, I think if I was a Tennessee Titans fan, I'd be ecstatic about getting Cam Ward. I'd be really excited because, I mean, I as a Giants fan, like if we had the pick of the crop, I think I would take Cam Ward if we had the number one pick. So
pretty clear. He's got some of the best physical tools out of any of the quarterbacks. Probably the most consistent, the best arm, and he also aced all of the pre-draft. His workouts, his pro day, the combine. He had impressive performances, and a lot of people like to overlook that stuff as maybe not super important, but there's a lot of pressure on these kids coming out of college to do well at these events. So doing well at that is important.
Yeah, I think one last thing to mention before if we were to move on to the next guy, I think his journey speaks like volumes, I think, to the guy he is. Like, you can just tell talking to him that he's got a good head on his shoulders. I mean, he's confident, but I mean, he had to work. I mean, he was a 0-star recruit, I'm pretty sure, coming out of high school, and then he went to Incarnate Ward for, I believe, 2 years before transferring to Washington State. But like, point being, this guy's had to work. He's never been like handed to it. Like, it's kind of like an underdog story. He very well might be the first overall pick in the draft this year. So, kudos to him. If he can continue to, grind it out, like, sky's the limit for him. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd be a little wary if you're a Tennessee Titans fan. I remember Matt was very big on Daniel Jones going into
What are you talking about?
No, you literally I have a video of Matt on my phone when the Giants took Daniel Jones from like it's actually crazy.
All right.
Yeah,
what are you doing right now, James?
My dad came and picked me up and asked me why Matty L is running in the street, running over.
Yeah, so it actually happened. If you want to tell the story, you can tell it.
Yeah, I ripped my shirt in half the second that name was chosen. Like, I was furious. I mean, I wanted at the time. I think I wanted Dwayne Haskins, which he wasn't. Didn't pan out either. R.I.P. by the way, but Daniel, don't even start that narrative, J-Man. That is
J-Man, we're 7 minutes and 55 seconds in. We got plenty of time.
I saw an opportunity to take a shot at it.
I won't even lie. Like, I'll be honest with everybody. Like, when Dexter Lawrence was chosen, I really wanted Montez Sweat.
Yeah, you were upset. I remember you're upset.
I was pissed. Like, and
I was happy.
Obviously, I eat my words now, but I remember I ran into Ethan's neighborhood and hid behind some random person's car and was like basically crying because we drafted.
And then we drafted Baker too, right?
DeAndre Baker, I think it was like 25. I was pumped about that too. So like,
we can't trust you. We can't trust you.
Martin doesn't know anything about it.
Let's relax.
But we'll move on now. We'll talk plenty of Giants when we get to the third overall pick. But number 2 is where things start to get interesting. The Cleveland Browns, a dumpster fire yet again. The haul they sent for Deshaun Watson has gone anything but right. They need a quarterback, but they could also go the more talented option here. Travis Hunter is probably, I would say, the most talented prospect in the draft. That ability to be a dual threat as both a receiver and a corner makes him an intriguing option. Do they take a quarterback here? Matty, I'll throw it to you. What does Cleveland do here? Dun, 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 dun.
With the second overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the Cleveland Browns select Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a surprise. I mean, I don't know. There's like 2 guys here that have been rumored. Well, 3, I guess, if you consider, Abdul Carter, Shedeur Sanders, and Travis Hunter. I think when it boils down to it, I mean, you'll see, but I think Shedeur is falling in this draft, and I think Travis Hunter's too good of a prospect to pass up. I mean, you look at their needs. They need like a lot. I mean, the quarterback, which Shedeur would fill that, but you got quarterback and wide receiver on the board. I refuse to believe that Travis Hunter will play, both ways as an NFL player. I mean, that's just really impople with like the hits. I saw what he said, which I just think
he can say whatever he wants. He's never played an NFL down before.
The second if he gets he's gonna pass up on NFL. Like, nah, he already declared for the draft. Like, he can't go back to college. Like, he's gonna play. He's not gonna quit. Like, here's what I see from Travis Hunter. As you know, as he gets into his career, I think he'll be a starter at cornerback. I think most teams will play him at quarterback. I mean, he very well might be the best wide receiver prospect. I mean, I know you got Trattori McMillan, but but he might be the best at both positions in this draft. I don't know. But I think, I mean, you can debate like Will Johnson at cornerback too, but I think Travis Hunter is an outstanding player, and he'll show that. He's just an athletic freak. But I think he'll start at corner, and then I think if you get him, like 8 to 12 snaps on offense a game, like maybe you get him in 2 drives a game, something like that, like end of fourth quarter, like 2-minute drives, those types of situations, because he's such a freak athlete. Like, I think he could make an impact on offense, but I see him as a cornerback in the NFL. And I know some people want to. People love to say that Travis Hunter's what's the saying? Like excellent at all, but a master. Like, I'm excellent at all tricks, but a master at none. He is damn well very good. I think him or Abdul Carter are probably the one of like the 2 best prospects in this class. So, what do you think, J-Man?
I agree with most of what you said. I think, just for reference, like I think the pick's going to be Hunter. I'd be very surprised if they went Carter, especially with the way things have been going in Cleveland. I think they need like a name. I think they need like a star. And I think Travis Hunter could be that guy. I think he's going to play. First I would like to say I think he's the second best player at each position. I think McMillan's better wide receiver, and I think Johnson's a better corner. So I think he's 2 and 2. I think he's going to play probably like 30% of the snaps on offense. I'd say. I think he's going to play third downs and, like you said, 2-minute drills. I think he'll play third down to 2-minute drills on offense. And I think he's going to play corner. If you're him, I think he probably want to. It sounds dumb, but personally, like I think he would want to play receiver more because receivers make like 2 times the amount of money. So I think if he's asked, I think he's going to say receiver, because I mean I was looking at stats earlier today. He has like, I don't know, I think he had like 14 or 15 receiving touchdowns. It's something crazy. Like he's a great receiver as well as a corner. Like I think. I know a lot of people say he's a better corner than receiver. Like I do agree, but he's still a great receiver. Like he's probably the second or first best receiver. And I think you're in a sense wasting like the talent that you have if you're only playing him for 8 to 10 snaps a game. I think if you're going to take him with a second overall pick, I think they should at least try for the first year to play him both ways.
I mean, you can go Sol if you want.
I was going to say, you guys are forgetting Will Johnson dealt with a lot of injury this year.
Yeah. Not do
a lot of pre-draft testing, and scouts place a big emphasis on that. So that only increases Travis Hunter's value as we head into this draft. But I mean, I get what you're saying here about the talent, Jesse. Like obviously it's off the chart, but I think it's hard to quantify just how much more physically taxing and exhausting the NFL is. Like you're going from playing against college students to full-grown men, professional athletes, and
it's not feasible. Like it's not happening.
It would be better to utilize him for what he's better at than get like 50 to 60% of.
You're saying, but then like a number 2 pick on a corner, it's like look. There's been some good corners picked.
Eric Stingley, that worked out pretty well.
Stingley was good. I think Surtain was pretty high, but they took who did Detroit take?
Sauce Gardner went 4. Let's not forget that.
They took Jeff Okudah.
It was like that didn't work.
Okudah's been hurt. He dealt with injuries. Like
I think it's way harder to find a premium guy at cornerback than at wide.
That's true. But the value is more.
Yeah, like the positional. I mean, I agree. You don't necessarily take a corner at 2. That's not the norm. But I think the value that he could provide there's no way. I'm telling you, there's no possible way he plays both ways for like his. Not even. I don't think he'd last 2 seasons. He'd get hurt. You're putting you're playing 2 NFL seasons in one. Like you're halving your career. Like it makes no sense. I mean, he might be a stud as a rookie if he can do that. But I just physically taxing wise on your body, I just think it's impossible. Like There's no way.
Yeah.
So if you were to choose one, I mean, I guess it depends on what the team needs, but I think he's naturally a better corner. So I mean, he has a lot of potential at wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. I just think, I mean, he probably played both his whole life, but I mean, his position was a cornerback. Like that's what he was recruited to be, and then he played both ways. But
yeah, it's also going to depend on what the Browns actually need more of. You know, you have Denzel Ward on the outside; he's your island shutdown guy. So maybe they need more of a receiver. So maybe they utilize him more as a receiver. But we'll move on now because this is probably where the bulk of our conversation debating is going to go. The New York Giants at 3. A lot of rumors circulating. Abdul Carter and what he can do as a pass rusher. The Giants have a very strong defensive line, so some controversy around there. As Giants fans, I'll ask both of you, who do you think we're going to take and who do you want to take? And if the answer is same, you don't need to explain the difference. But if the answer is different, I'd like to hear why. J-Man, we'll start with you.
I think there's like 4 scenarios in my mind. I think the most likely scenario. Well, first of all, who do I want us to take? I want us to take Abdul Carter. I think he adds something to our defense that we haven't seen since 2011 when we had OC, Tuck, and JPP. I think adding him to our defense changes the way an offense prepares for a game. You have 3 pass rushers you have to worry about, especially Burns off the edge, who was getting a lot of double teams last year. I think Carter would be a dominant force in our defense. So that's what I think we should take. I think there's 4 scenarios. I think scenario 1, we take Carter. I think there's like a 50% chance of that happening. I think realistically, I think there's a 20%, 30% chance we take Shedeur Sanders. I don't want him, but we've brought him in for 2 visits. We've been associated with him for the last 6 months. There's a chance we take him. It's a reality. There's a small chance we take Campbell, like the tackle, Will Campbell. I think there's small. I think like 5% chance just because of what's happening with Andrew Thomas, and I don't really know where his health's at. Like maybe the Giants have a better understanding, and I don't know, small chance. And I think the other chance is that we trade the pick. There's a chance we trade down. Someone wants Carter. We can get another draft pick for next year, and we could package 2 first-round picks next year to go up and take Arch Manning or take your quarterback. So I think the pick is going to be Carter. I want the pick to be Carter, but I think there's other scenarios.
Okay, Matty L.
For me, who do I think we'll get? I think we'll take Abdul Carter, which Lord knows I wouldn't be complaining. Like, don't get me wrong, Abdul Carter is a great player. In my mind, there's only one way to piss me off in this scenario, and that's to take Shedeur Sanders. So I'm praying that we don't do that. And I was telling them before, the only way I think that happens is if the Giants just don't think Abdul Carter, because we do have Burns, we do have Thibodeau, which I know Thibodeau has had his struggles, but I mean, he was drafted by Shane and, Dable, so they value him clearly, as a player, even if, the whole 5th-year option thing. But the only way I see that happening is if they decide that Abdul Carter is just, it's not the biggest need on this team and they want to address the quarterback position. But I don't think it'd be a good idea. I think we need to get better elsewhere. Who I want Travis Hunter. I think he's a stud. Yeah,
it's never.
It's definitely possible.
It's possible, but why would Cleveland they just put 40 million. They just signed Garrett for 40 million.
Imagine them 2 together. It's the same shit with us and wanting to have.
Yeah, and they don't need a corner. Dude, positional need is hugely important. Talent, yes.
I mean, you want to take BPA, but I think they're both fantastic players. So I do think it's possible. I don't think it's impossible that Travis Hunter is available when we're on the clock on next Thursday. I don't think that's impossible.
Holy shit.
I'd be really upset if we don't pick him. So that's how I want. I think we'll get Abdul Carter. I'll still be thrilled. I don't love that he's an Eagles fan because fuck him, but I think
it's like Karl Anthony Towns, right? Isn't he an Eagles fan? It's terrible.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit as long as they do well for my team. I don't really
exactly.
care.
So I think Abdul Carter is a game wrecker. I mean, he's really, really good. So I'll be ecstatic. But I'm telling you, Shedeur Sanders gets drafted. It could be Daniel Jones level crash out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not afraid. I don't like him. I don't think he's. This quarterback class is weak. We know that. That's no hot. Like there might not even be 3 quarterbacks that go in the first round of this draft class. I don't like his personality. Like some people might think it, it's cool swagger. I mean, it's confident. I think he's cocky, which, either if he succeeds here, I mean, that'll take him, to the highest of mountaintops. But I mean, if he's ass, which I think he could be, because I mean, our team isn't that good, and I don't think he's that good. I mean, he's accurate, but I think it could come crashing down in a fucking ball of fire, and I don't want that to happen to my favorite team. So I want to steer clear Shedeur Sanders. As J-Man mentioned, they are, I mean, at least hot. They're looking at him quite a bit. I saw that they're hosting like a private workout with him again or something coming up, like the week before the draft. So, I mean, they clearly are interested. I think, honestly, what it comes down to is they're weighing, in their heads, like if you're Joe Shane, right, and you're looking at what you could do, let me finish this thought and I'll pop to the trade back scenario, because I don't hate that if it's the right price and someone wants to trade for Abdul Carter. But if you're Joe Shane, right, and you're looking, it's like, how can I win the most amount of games, right? That's what I would be thinking, because, I mean, your job's on the line. Your career's on the line. I'm sure he could get hired somewhere else, but you'll never, touch being a GM again. I would want to add the best player available, and the person that can make the biggest impact on this team. That's why I would want Travis Hunter. I think he can make the biggest impact. But I'm taking Abdul Carter. But if he thinks that this team's good enough with Russell Wilson and famous Jameis, like he might take Shedeur Sanders. I don't think it's the right time to invest in a guy that's like we're so unsure about. But yeah, that's just what I'm thinking.
How much value do you guys place on the Russ and Jameis side? Like if you had to,
I think it shows a lot. Like I do, because the fact that they
changes their draft strategy. How much does it change their draft strategy?
I don't think it does.
Nothing at all.
Because because it's gonna be Russ is gonna start. I think it's they basically said it. And I think he's so old that it just can't change a draft strategy.
Well, do you think it like delays the process? Like, do you think it says, okay, this year we don't need a quarterback this year because we have Russ?
I mean, I don't think if their hearts are set on a quarterback, they're going to take him. That's how it happens every year. If they're not set, then I absolutely think it changes. And I think it says, like, you don't draft. Okay, first of all, let me throw this out there, right? So you got 1 year left. You draft Shedeur Sanders. Like, you have to prove to ownership and to fans that Shedeur Sanders, like, can play. So if you draft Shedeur Sanders, like, you're just not going to be, like, selling them on the hope that Shedeur Sanders, sits out the whole year, doing grinds and becomes better the next year. They're going to want to see immediate results. So if the team's struggling, like, we really signed Russell Wilson, famous Jameis, and you're going to have Shedeur Sanders riding the bench. Like, no, you'd want him to play. So, like, because you have 4 quarterbacks on the roster. And Tommy, like you have 3 quarterbacks. Like,
you gotta love DeVito.
No, I do love him. I do love you. Shout out Tommy. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't draft him to have him sit if you're on the hot seat. Like, it doesn't make sense that way. Like, the
team needs to win games, and the bottom line is Shedeur is not going to help them win games like
this year. No, he won't. Like, there's no world do I think Shedeur Sanders steps into this offense and wins more games than Russell Wilson. Like, I just don't see it. I mean, granted, it's possible, but like, rookie quarterbacks struggle unless you're CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels. Like, and he is not them. I think that's huge. So those are my feelings. I think it'll be Abdul Carter. I'll be thrilled. Y'all will see my reaction when it happens. I mean, maybe for the podcast's sake, we might want Shedeur Sanders to get drafted, so I crash out live on TV. But no, for my mental health and well-being, I would like Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants' draft woes have really just continued. I mean, outside of last year, which I think was a very successful draft for them, Neighbors looks legit. Tyrone Tracy looks legit. You have a lot of talented guys defensively. The Giants have just struggled. First-round picks, Thibodeau and Neal have been terrible. You go back to the Eli Apple days. Say what you want about Saquon Barkley. The Giants' draft history in the first round has typically not yielded the value at which the player was selected at. So hopefully this year is different. I wouldn't mind a safer pick. I think Abdul Carter, definitely the safer guy here for what he brings. The Giants would have one scary defensive line. And I agree with you, Jesse, that it makes game planning against the Giants that much more difficult and intimidating. But we'll move on to the Pats here. We're only on pick 4, like a half an hour in already. Holy shit.
Yeah, but then this will go.
Yeah, I
that's
mean, the Pats.
That's what the people are here for. Was the Giants stuff. So
yeah. The Pats, a couple interesting options. You have Drake May locked up. Definitely won't take a quarterback. I don't think. I mean, all the kids downstairs are Drake May truthers. So, what do you guys got here?
I think Gio Will Campbell too. I do. Both do. Yeah, I think both do. I
didn't know where you were gonna go with that, but yeah, I have Will Campbell. I do think this is a potential trade down scenario depending on if this is how the draft pans out. I mean, if you're a Pats fan, I think it's a dream scenario if Shedeur Sanders goes at 2 or 3, like because then you get your hands on either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Yeah. Most likely, I would think Abdul Carter. But yeah, I think Will Campbell is he's a phenomenal player. I mean, people underrate him because his length is like just barely enough. There's like like a hard cutoff of I think it's like 32 inches and 32 inches and like 7/8 or some shit like that. I don't know it off the top of my head, but his arms were measured at 33 inches long. So like that's what people's main woes with him are. I mean, he was a dog at LSU though. Like he's a big dude, strong, athletic. Like he's everything you would want in I think a starting left tackle in the NFL. So I mean, it's not a flashy pick, but I think it's a necessary pick. They got to protect their franchise quarterback. So, Will Campbell, you're a New England Patriot.
Yeah, pretty safe pick there.
Yeah, I got nothing to add, and I think Matt kind of hit on all the points. I think they need to protect Drake May. See if that pick from last year is going to pay off. I think he played pretty well. I know Soul lives with a bunch of Patriots fans, and they seem to like him. I think he had a good year and. Yeah, I think Campbell's a safe pick. I have a much more interesting prediction for my next pick.
Yeah,
interesting.
The Patriots O-line really struggled. Campbell makes sense here. They need a tackle. 5th overall, the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. GM Matty L. Who are you selecting for the Jacksonville?
I'm taking Mason Graham.
I want Jesse to argue with Matty L.
Yeah, I'm taking Mason Graham. I'm pretty dead set that this is what's going to happen at 5. So if J-Man disagrees, it should be interesting. I just think the Jaguars have assessed a lot of things in the offseason, and the one thing they haven't touched is the defensive tackle position. And Mason Graham's a dog. He's a really good player.
He's great.
If the Giants, because the Giants do need interior defensive help, but I just think there are other things that we need to do. I mean, I've seen mock drafts with us taking Mason Graham, but I think Mason Graham, I think he's a beast. He's just a guy that I would want on my team. And the Jaguars are lucky enough to get him. I've been running through scenarios, and I don't think that they're going any other direction. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be Mason Graham at 5. J-Man, what do you think?
Okay. Well, first I want to say I'm a huge Mason Graham fan. I've been saying this for the last 2 months.
What do you think he's cooking up here, Sol? What do you think he's cooking up?
I've been saying blasphemous.
I've been saying this for the last 2 months. I'm a huge Mason Graham fan. If the Giants trade down, I hope that we somehow get him because I think he's going to be a top 3 defense tackle in football. I'll say that.
High praise.
But I think the Saints need a quarterback. I think Derek Carr is going to be out for the year. I think the Saints have picking in front of them teams like the Jets and the Raiders that potentially may take a quarterback.
I know where he's going with this.
I think you know where I'm going. I think the Saints, I think we're gonna it's gonna be like 4 minutes left on the clock, and then all of a sudden, instead of saying the pick's gonna be in, it's gonna say trade. And the next logo that's going to pop up is going to be that Saints logo. The Saints are going to trade for the number 5th overall pick, and they're going to take Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur Sanders is going to be a Saint.
They're going to go from bad. They're going to go from Derek Carr being bad to Shedeur Sanders being worse?
They don't have a quarterback right now. They're talking about like Ryan. They're talking about bringing like Ryan Tannehill, like Carson Wentz. They have and Derek Carr's old too. They have a chance to get like a young like rookie quarterback. You're trading up like 3 picks.
He's
taking them in between them and 9 though. Like
the Jets might, and so might the Raiders. The
I'll
Raiders
be
might
damned
too.
if the Jets take Shedeur Sanders. Oh my god,
Dude, that is not
I think it's possible.
happening.
I think this is possible. I think it's possible.
Yeah,
I think it's possible. I think it's possible we see if not at 5, I think the Saints could maybe trade up to 6. I think the Saints will try to trade up to take Sanders.
Wow.
but like
The quarterback.
He's
is
not
valuable.
a quarterback you trade up. Like there are safer prospects they can get.
if
in
he
the
doesn't
second
go,
round.
if my thing is if he doesn't go top 3, I think he's falling. I think he's falling.
He's gonna
out
fall
of
to
the top
the Steelers.
10.
At, like,
I think he's
21?
falling out of the top 10. That's just my that's what I think. I just don't like him at all. I mean, gosh, I wish we could have a video of Jake Verano going to bat for Shedeur Sanders, but
I think he's a very accurate player. I get what you're saying about his like attitude sometimes.
sucks. It is like
I don't want his dad. I don't want him and his dad. I don't want all
Dude,
that
like,
drama like around. Like,
he's like the
Yeah.
opposite of the guy that I would want on my like. If I could choose like personalities on like, I don't want to go near him with a 10-foot pole, like personally.
Yeah.
But I just think if you're
driving
ass,
away.
it's just gonna spot like. These teams are all horrible. Well, not all of them, but like they're
That's
all.
why you need a quarterback. Quarterback.
Yeah,
can change
but
your-
if he's
can change
terrible,
your
it's gonna
future.
blow up. Like it's just gonna blow up.
It
I
might,
think.
it
look
might.
what happened to the Giants. They drafted a bad quarterback that they reached on, and
Well,
it
they
put them
signed
back.
him. That's the difference. They signed him
Yeah,
for a lot of
that's
money.
true, but like he tricked them into being good because he drafted and had
Yeah.
some tools.
Yeah,
Shedeur
I
has
just
some
wanna- I
tools.
just wanna
He
bring up
tricked them into
something.
signing like.
What are y'all's thoughts on Shedeur getting his jersey retired for Colorado? Like, did you guys see that?
I think it's.
Don't you
Let me
dare
Let me tell you something. Colorado football program has been awful for years and years and years. They bring in Shedeur Sanders, they bring in Hunter, and now they're something. People, you look at the
Yeah, you know what? I'm
application
with
rates for the
Jesse
school.
here.
People
Are you
are going to the school.
crazy?
People are going to the school to watch Colorado play football now.
You
Tim
can't deny the
Tebow,
impact he's had.
The
You
greatest
can't
college
do-
football player of all time does not have his jersey retired at the University of Florida. Like,
because it's a
Okay,
different.
what are you
Florida's
guys
choice.
talking about?
It's a
Florida's
different. It's
choice.
individual from school to school, dude.
You have an
Florida's a
you have an
far more
argument?
distinguished program.
You have an argument for me for Travis Hunter. He won a Heisman, which I think someone else for Colorado won a Heisman back in the day. I could be wrong. I don't know his name. Like, so you have an argument there. What has Shedeur Sanders brought to Colorado? You know, because
Hold on,
when
I
Dion
got you.
leaves in a
And money.
when Dion leaves in a few years,
He's
you know
brought
what's
the
gonna-
money in.
You know what his legacy is
64
going to be? It's going to be
touchdowns.
10-3 in an Alamo Bowl. What's going to be? Like, it's just so ridiculous. I thought you guys would be on my side. Are you kidding me?
Matty L,
No,
if
I'm
he went to
serious.
Florida,
I'm not even-
it
I'm not
wouldn't
even
get
doing it to make you
retired.
mad. I'm
But
serious.
because he went to Colorado,
Jersey
there is-
number retiring for what? For
he
what?
changed the program.
He
He's
changed
the
the program. He
quarterback
changed the
of a
school. He
new
changed the
era
school.
of Colorado football.
He didn't
dude.
change the program. His daddy changed the program. Like
His
let's be
daddy
fucking
didn't go
real.
out there
part
and
of it.
win football games, dude.
His
and
daddy
put
was the
people in
coach, though.
stands, dude.
And Travis Hunter won them football games. Like
So
and he
did their
didn't even win
quarterback.
You know,
anything.
you know,
Like,
you know.
When you
Shedeur did.
literally argue
You can't
who's the
deny it.
GOAT, everybody turns to Tom Brady and his Super Bowls and all the winning. Shedeur won games for that program because he was the quarterback when they turn it around. I'm not saying it should be, but there is certainly an argument for it to be retired. He
There you go,
turned
Soul. There you go, Soul. Let's go.
Like-
Mistake.
like
It's just a
people
mistake.
come to the school, the NIL, like
It's a
in this
it's
era of
a
football,
mockery of the
yes,
sport.
she-
It's a
dude,
mockery
say
of
what
the
you
sport.
want. You can't. Maybe it is, but in this reality, that's the story. Is he changed the program? But enough of this Shedeur Sanders shit. He sucks. I don't want the Giants to take him. We go on to the Raiders now, and holy shit, CBS Sports has them mocking Ashton Genty with the 6th overall pick.
That's what it's
If
gonna
that-
be. But it's
If that shit happens, I would be quite frankly a little shocked. We
mistake.
saw Ashton Genty get thrown around against Penn State when they actually had to play a real football team in their little Cinderella run. But I'll hand it over to J-Man first. What are the Raiders?
They're going to take Gentry. It's going to be a mistake, like I was saying before. Pete Carroll loves his running backs. Always has.
Yeah, that is true.
It's going to be Gentry. I think. Look, this team hasn't made the playoffs in years. You're going to go take a running back? Like, are you crazy? You're going to take a running back when you haven't made the playoffs?
No, they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs a couple of years ago with that Cinderella Derek Carr team.
Oh yeah, that 1 year. So like 4 years ago,
okay. Made the Pro Bowl like that random year where they
So like you're gonna. They have so many other positional needs, and you're gonna go with one of the least like important positions. I'm just like they like the reason why Barkley, and this is the truth. The reason why Barkley works is because they have a team around him that can block for him, they can scheme for him, and everything. The Raiders have no one on offense that scares me. They have no one on offense,
and that's why they want Ashton Gentry, baby. That's why they want Ashton Gentry. Yeah, it is. They need a playmaker, J-Man. They need a playmaker. They need a Heisman.
You think this is the right pick here?
No, I think it's gonna happen. Like J-Man said,
it's gonna happen.
I don't know if it's the best pick. I don't think it's crazy to say that Ashton Gentry is a top 3 prospect in this draft class. Certainly top 10.
No.
Yes, he is.
Top 10, top 3 is crazy.
Bro, top it's not crazy. It's
not
even
over
crazy.
Hunter, Carter, and Campbell. That's crazy. I'm
putting him.
And Cam Ward.
I'm putting him. I think he's a better prospect than Cam Ward. Like, I don't think that's crazy.
That's fair. But Carter, Hunter, and
him going to Boise State.
I think it's Abdul Carter. Like, actually, I think Travis Hunter, then Abdul Carter, and then I think Ashton Gentry is the third best player in the draft class. He's so good, dude. Like, I mean, I'm not saying this is
how much does the Boise State concern you that he didn't play against the top, like the power?
How many yards did he have against Oregon again? How many?
No, he's a great player. He's a great player.
I think he had 300 plus.
They just have so many other needs. Well, they're not a good team. They can't take a running back. They don't have a line.
I don't disagree with that. Some other thoughts I had here was 1 second. I gotta grab a charger. You can like my pajama pants.
I do like them.
Thank you. My other thoughts here, right, are like I feel like if you want a playmaker that probably arguably has more positional value, I think you go Shedeur McMillan out of Arizona. I mean, I think he's a beast, but
that's fair.
Like if you're arguing, you're saying they have no. My thing with your bullshit with running backs is you say, oh, you're taking them. You don't have any pieces anywhere. They don't have any playmakers, and then they take a really talented playmaker at running back, and then you just complain. Like, why are you complaining? They're getting their playmakers. Like, I get it, it's positional value, and if they don't have an offensive line,
what good team? Like
the Eagles.
Yeah, it's the only team that's done it in the last like 10 years that has went with a good running back. Like, I get you could say like
McCaffrey and the 49ers.
Yeah, McCaffrey and the 40, but that's a good example of how a team is there around him, and then he's able to like succeed. Derrick Henry was.
I'm not arguing with you with the fact that as a
positional need, it's not of the utmost.
It's not the strongest, but like Ashton Gentry is so damn good, bro. Like he actually is really good. Like, y'all are sleeping. What the hell?
I don't know.
I have it in my notes somewhere.
The ship has sailed already. We've seen what has happened to teams like even Nick Chubb. Like, he was a pretty early pick, and the Browns haven't really won shit with him on the roster.
Zeke was an early pick. He hasn't. The 49ers traded McCaffrey. The Giants let Barkley go. I mean, like, I feel like every single time a team takes a running back in the top 10, it blows up in their face.
I mean, I'm gonna say
Zeke was the fourth overall pick.
It's not top 10, but I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs to the Lions. I mean, he's had
Gibbs was okay.
Yeah, because look at the Lions. Look at the Lions in the trenches, dude. They have the best O-line in football.
I'm not arguing that this is the best pick. Like, I don't think this is what I would do.
He's a talented player, but I think
maybe they should trade, like, low key trade. If they really are set on Gentry, trade back a little bit and maybe get him.
Trade back. The Saints come up and they take Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, sure, but I'm not arguing that. I think maybe I don't know. The Raiders are the Raiders. They always do stupid shit in the draft because their owner's a bimbo. Like,
yeah,
like Mark Davis. Like, Like it's remember when they drafted Cleveland Farrell? Remember out of Clemson? Like I was
that
like,
was
what?
hilarious. That was hilarious. Henry
So
Ruggs.
they're just they beat to their own drum. I don't know, but I think it's safe to say that I think that's going to be the pick if we're doing this as a predictive thing. It's not what I would do necessarily.
Sure. It makes sense. We'll go to the other New York team now at pick 7, the New York Jets. They signed Justin Fields in the offseason, so still some question marks in the quarterback room. You know, maybe if Lord and Savior Shedeur Sanders is there, they take a swing on him. But Matty L, what are the rival Jets doing here?
I think it's time for the Jets to finally address their offensive line issues. So I have them taking an O tackle out of Missouri, Armand Membu. Yep. He's a really good player. He's big, long arms. He's very athletic. I mean, it's an offensive tackle again. I think it's just exactly what the Jets need. I mean, they just really need. I mean, it's the same thing the Giants have been battling for the last all of my life is finding an offensive line. Like generally, I mean, maybe this 7th pick will be better than our 7th pick was, from 2 or 3 years back with Evan Neal. But it's a good swing. Like it doesn't. It might not be the most exciting player, but you need to figure out your offensive
the draft
line
is about.
to win.
Like I feel like it's so overhyped picking the big flashy guys. You need somebody who's going to help your team.
No, I agree. So yeah, I think Armand Membu is the guy there. What do you think, J-Man?
I mean, and in your scenario with the way things have played out, I think that would be my pick. But in my scenario, because I had Sanders going up to 5, I have Mason Graham going here at 7. I mean, like if Graham is there at 7, the Jets can't pass that down. So I don't think that's
a fair take. Yeah. I wouldn't complain. Yeah, I forgot that we're not doing, because sometimes when we do this, when people do mock drafts, they take every other pick, so you're battling. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, like obviously, if they don't pan out, it's a loss. But I think if you take a swing at an offensive tackle here, in Bembu, or you get land Mason Graham, like
definitely a higher hit rate offensive lineman. I feel like than some other maybe skilled positions. I feel like typically
unless you're the Giants,
the draft is still it's still a crapshoot regardless.
Yeah.
Who do you got? Well,
we move on to the Panthers now. Bryce Young, I guess, showed enough flashes. He'll probably be the full-time starter next year. Kick Andy Dalton out of there. A lot of interesting things going down in Carolina. J-Man, thoughts here?
Yeah, this is where they're going to get Bryce Young some help here. They're going to take McMillan here, wide receiver, Arizona, and I think he's the most talented wide receiver in the draft. I don't really know where he would have gone in last year's draft. Like I've read some conflicting things that say he was in between Neighbors and Adunze, or worse than Adunze, or like one I read that was like in between Neighbors and Harrison. I think McMillan's a very good player. He had 19 touchdowns last year. It's like pretty crazy. He had 21 touchdowns as a sophomore. Like I mean, this guy's a game changer. I think the Panthers go out and take him. I think a wide receiver is a valuable position, and they need it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I can't argue. Like if they were to take that, it's good they got him out. I thought about going something interesting here, but I decided not to because I realized a guy that I really like, which you'll see later on in this, but is Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State. I think he's a fantastic player. I'm not taking him here. What I have them doing is taking a guy out of Georgia, Jalen Walker. The guy's just a freak. He's good. It's kind of I feel like. He's an edge rusher.
Basically, they lost from Brian.
Yeah,
Burns.
So he's athletic freak. I mean, he can provide. I'm pretty sure he's from the Carolinas, so he'd be playing back home. But I just think they could use a lot of help on defense too. I mean, again, I don't hate the idea of getting Bryce Young some help, but I just think the defensive guy here. Some people are pretty high on him and other people aren't. So I feel it reminds me of Travon Walker a bit in his rise. Even though he went all the way up to 1. I don't think Jalen Walker's going to do that, but I definitely think he's a great player and could make a massive impact on this Carolina Panthers defense that obviously could use some help. So
one of the lowest pressure rates in the NFL, some of the lowest sack numbers.
Yeah,
didn't really impose their will. Makes sense.
So I like it. I think they need it. They really need the help. So
that's fair.
Makes sense. Yeah. We'll go to pick 9 now. So J-Man, I'll throw it to you. You had a trade happening here. Did you have Jacksonville directly swapping going to this 9th pick?
Yeah. So this is where I've like Jacksonville taking like Membu. I think would you have the Jets taking him at 7, Matt?
Yeah.
I think Jacksonville needs help with their line. I think that's where they go with the pick. I could see in a potential scenario where Genty isn't picked by the Raiders. This is like hypothetical of a hypothetical. If like Genty wasn't picked and Jacksonville was picking, 9, they would take Genty. But I can also see Jacksonville if they were picking later in the draft, take another receiver. They have the Golden guy, Texas, right?
Yeah, Matthew Golden. Yeah, I think is his name. Yeah.
Yeah. I've read some good things about him. I think
he's a good
player. A lot of people have him going to Dallas, which is a little concerning if you're a Giants fan. I don't want them to get a big playmaker. It's annoys me.
Never do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think in this scenario that I have, I think Jacksonville goes to the lineman.
Yeah. Makes sense. Fair enough, Matty L.
Yeah. So I don't have J-Man's ridiculous thing of the Saints trading up. So I have the Saints taking Jahad Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama.
No.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
Because Shedeur's still available in my half of the mock but I have them passing on Shedeur Sanders because he's a
No, I get it. I just think they need a playmaker and
well, I guess like McMillan's available, but I don't know, and with what I have, but I think they need defensive help too. I mean,
they do. They definitely do.
And I mean, Campbell's a great player. I mean, he's rangy, explosive, he can do a lot off the ball and on the ball. So I like him. I just think that the Saints need some help at linebacker. And I mean, I wouldn't. It's not like I'd be shocked if they go elsewhere. I wouldn't be. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be shocked if they did take Shedeur because I'm pretty sure the Saints are the betting favorites to land Shedeur. I just personally, I'm not having that happen in my mock draft. So you're gonna just have to live with that, J-Man.
Well, it is Matty L's mock draft. You can't take his right away from him. He's earned his spot here on the Big Apple Banter, and he gets his right of pass. So before we wrap, we got the final pick here. Chicago Bears have in the past couple years, I've had a lot of first-round selections. Obviously, big Bryce Young trade was huge for them. They're picking 10 here. I think potential Tyler Warren still on the board. J-Man, what do we think?
Yeah, I think that's what I think. I don't know if Matt has it too. I have Tyler Warren going here.
I also have that. Okay.
So we can agree on that.
We can end on the high note.
Yeah. Little Caleb Williams' help. He needs some help.
Yeah. I think he's a good player. He impressed me a lot in the college football playoffs. Not only his playmaking ability, but the effort he gives in every play, blocking. Even he's the kind of guy when he gets the ball and he's running out of bounds, he'll try to truck over the
he's
the
linebacker
to get the extra 2 yards.
Player. I
like the effort. I like him. I like him a lot.
If the Giants had a mid-round pick, I would I just love this guy. I mean, he just plays so hard every play. He's a football player. He carried Penn State's offense almost to a national championship appearance. They were so damn good, and without him, they don't go nearly as far. I don't even think that's I don't think that's understating everything. He's huge. He's a mammoth of a human being. He can block. He can make plays. His run after catch ability might be some of the best I've seen. I'm not saying he's Rob Gronkowski at all. I'm not putting him in that tier, but I'm saying you see flashes of that in him. He's a huge dude, and he can just make plays after he gets the ball. He makes plays, runs through dudes, runs around dudes. He's just I just love the guy. And I think he's gonna be a special player. I think he can go higher than this. J-Man might disagree. I almost have him going to the Panthers. But I just didn't really see many ties with them there. He wasn't on their top 30 visit list. So I just didn't think that was gonna happen. It's just I just love Tyler Warren. But yeah, what do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah, fair to say.
Yeah, I think I mean, like everything you said. I don't really have much to add. I think he'd be like a big add to their offense. I could also see them. I could also see them going the offensive line route.
Yeah,
I had them like
they really want to
Caleb,
solidify that. You know,
Calvin Banks.
Yeah, I could see them going the offensive line route, but
I think they want to put. I mean, not that tight end blocking, replaces a tackle by any means, but he's a solid blocker, can help out with that. But he's such a offensive weapon to just add into that offense that it only can help Caleb Williams grow even more. And that's this whole regime or whatever is like Caleb Williams is their shiny toy. They need to make him do as good as he possibly can. And I think Tyler Warren's a big step in that. I mean, I already think Caleb Williams is going to take a big step this year. I'm a fan of Caleb Williams where a lot of people might not be.
I like him.
So I think this is the way it goes, I think it'd be a massive get for the Chicago Bears. And if I was a Bears fan, I'd be fucking so excited. I really like this guy.
They're going to have a lot of weapons on offense. They have the young talent. They could have some explosive offense.
I mean, I think they've addressed a lot of offensive. It might not have been I think it was interior offensive line they addressed in the offseason.
They got oh my god, what's the name from the Chiefs? How am I blanking? Then they get
did they?
Hold on. This is terrible. This is terrible.
Is it the guard that I brought up in our free agency podcast?
Joe Tooney. It's just terrible.
Yeah,
he's won 4 Super Bowls. He's won 4 with the Patriots and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I can't believe I blanked on that, but I mean he's a fantastic guard. I mean they also got the guy from the Rams, right? Alaric Jackson.
They addressed the offensive line though, and
did he not? Oh no, he's still on the Rams. What? Okay,
they have Braxton Jones,
cut that part.
Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson.
Oh, Drew Dahlman's good. They signed him. Yeah.
Darnell Wright.
Darnell Wright was the guy that Darnell Wright on. I think he plays right tackle. I could be wrong.
Yeah, right tackle.
They addressed a lot of and if they wanted to solidify it more, protect him, by all means, go do that. But I think Tyler Warren would be a great pick here too. So that's what my thoughts on that. I mean, and that was our 10 picks. How about it?
There we go. We ran through that. It's getting late, boys, but it appears that the Giants' quarterback woes are not going to be resolved in the first round. And there's not a whole lot of first round quarterback talent, but there's guys like Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, who could maybe be picked later. Will Howard, holy shit, maybe that'll happen.
Can I propose that we throw out some dream scenarios for draft night? Or even day 1, day 2.
Yeah.
So for
Let's talk day 2. It's because I mean, I really think taking an incredible edge rusher like Abdul Carter here just makes sense. I just don't see a scenario where they take a quarterback at 3. I think Shane and Dable know that Shedeur Sanders has a lot of weaknesses in his game. Cam Ward's not going to be available. And after that, the quarterback talent falls off. So I feel like they will take a quarterback in this draft, but I just don't see it being in the first round unless they trade back. So I would love to talk day 2, day 3 scenarios. Which guys you like.
I have a guy that, he probably will go before this. This is my dream scenario, right? So some magical way, Shedeur goes 2 or Abdul Carter goes 2. Giants select Travis Hunter. That's who I want. Again, happy with Abdul Carter, but in this scenario, we take Travis Hunter, and then we either trade up if need be, or Walter Nolan, I believe the second, falls to us in the second round. This dude's a problem. He was really highly recruited going from Texas A&M, and he transferred to Ole Miss. But this dude's huge. He's a stud. And I think it just would be the perfect seal to that interior defensive tackle that we need. I just think it'd be a perfect fit for us. And that would be a scary ass defensive line that you get with drafting Abdul Carter. You help run defense. And you get your unicorn and Travis Hunter. So that's who I would be looking at day 2. There's I saw someone was throwing out there that we might draft Jalen Milroe, but I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I mean, I want to take I don't really like. I mean, people. Jackson Dart maybe in the second round. I mean, it's definitely a discussion if he falls to us. I mean, Jalen Miller's discussion.
It's hard to say whether or not any of these quarterbacks are even worth taking a shot off. Like
because you also like a second round. We would like the second overall.
It's basically a first round pick, and there's always guys that are first round talents that, for whatever reason, fall into the early second round. And I always wish I was the team that gets to scoop them up, but we
will be. We're gonna get to take one.
We have the second pick in the second round and the first pick in the third round.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be one of these. Like, I think we should get a defensive tackle. I think like a Kenneth Grant may drop, or I don't know, like the what's the guy like Harmon from where does he go to school? Oregon. Yeah, that Derek Harmon from Oregon might drop. Like, I think we can see a defensive tackle or something drop when we take a defensive tackle, or even like. I mean, this is a crazy scenario. Like, I don't know. Like Will Johnson, could people be so afraid of his injuries that he drops to the second round? Like, I don't know.
No,
something like that.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
I mean, the Giants could trade. Like, I don't. Like Joe Shane has shown the tendency to move around in his drafts. Like, he doesn't sit still. I don't think. Like,
yeah.
So I mean, if there's a guy that we love. Say we go Abdul or Travis Hunter, and there's a guy we love like sitting in like the mid-20s that's still available. Like, I don't see a reason that he wouldn't jump up to go get him. Like, if it costs if it wasn't too expensive, like
he's playing for his job just as much as the players are and the coaches.
Yeah,
so
like,
he needs to do
real. That shit is real. Like, I feel like that can't go overstated. Like, people make pressure situations because. They're not building for the future. Like they want to build for the future as much as they can, but they really want to preserve their job because they make a shit ton of money. And who wants to give up being a GM in an NFL organization? Like, I certainly wouldn't. But
it's like Chris Drury for the Rangers. He's fighting for his job this
summer. Something that
crazy.
I thought that was this interesting. The Giants have done a lot of research on running backs in this draft class. Like a guy like Quinton Judkins. Like, I don't know, second round maybe. I mean, that'd be cruel. I mean, like I don't know if I necessarily love that if there's certain guys there, but I mean, I wouldn't be against it. Like, Judkins is a great player too.
Yeah, I just think. I mean, we have. I'm just like looking at it in like a broad scheme. I mean, like we need a defensive tackle in this draft. We definitely need a defensive tackle in the draft. We definitely need a guard. A guard is going to be either like one of our second round pick or one of our 2/3. It's going to be a guard. We need one. We debatably need like another like guy in the secondary. Maybe if we don't get Hunter, like you may see a corner go. Like we need another linebacker. Maybe like we need depth. We need guys like I don't know if like we have Tracy like Singletary. By the way, that is a terrible contract. Like I think I never said Singletary was a good contract.
No, I'm not saying you. I said that like that shit made no sense.
But we have them, and it's like you take a running back in the second or third when you have all these other holes, and I don't know.
I mean, I think Devin Singletary's like contract's like pretty easy to get out of. Like I don't think it'd be detrimental. Am I wrong?
Next year they can, not this year. They're stuck.
Whatever. What is he making?
It isn't $6 million against the cap this year. It's terrible.
It's a bad contract.
He's not even starting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I agree with you. If we get an interior offensive lineman, that'd be cool. Defensive tackle, be cool. I'd love both those. I think it depends on who we go with that first selection. I'm sure we'll have our live reactions and maybe can throw like a post draft round one. We'll throw up like who we want. We're looking at people that are available. If we're still picking with the second overall pick in the second round, we can throw that up there. But listen, I'm excited. Every year around this time of year, it's a different juice gets flowing because there's so much potential. You leave draft night unless you take a Daniel Jones and you crash out like I did when
you were happy. You were happy.
That's probably the biggest crash out I've had in my life. I'm not even kidding. Like
Or would you chase me around with the broom when we were playing Madden?
You wouldn't stop cheesing with RG3. What was I supposed to do? Just let you do it? Like,
man, it's gonna be fun. You know, the draft night. GMs can always come in with a plan, and stuff doesn't go the way you think, and you have to make adjustments. And hopefully, for Joe Shane and company, they make the right adjustments. But
I mean, I think the last thing to be, sorry, not to cut you off, but like the take. I mean, we are coming away with, I would like 99.9% chance that we come away with either Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, or Shedeur Sanders. So like, I mean, that's the takeaway. Like, that's what you're gonna get on draft night, unless we like trade back like Jamin threw out there. But like, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, who it is, I mean, we might not know till the day of, like when the pick comes in. But I mean, you're setting yourself up to those. I think you're setting yourself up for a good future. But yeah. Sorry,
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But if you guys want any more different videos to come, leave a comment down below, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.